Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 12-month progress report of the Translational Medicine Center. I'd like to talk to you about the etiology of adverse pregnancy outcomes. My name is Dénes Kovács, and I'm a resident at the Obstetrics and Gynecology department of our university. And my mission is that to emphasize the importance of prevention and to help improve reproduction rates. My vision is that all people should be able to create a healthy family. I have two ongoing projects currently, and the first one is about investigating the human papillomavirus infection adverse pregnancy outcomes. So let's have a closer look on this project right now. This is a systematic review and the meta-analysis, and we have known human papillomavirus for a long time because of its oncologic relation, because Harald Zurhausen, a German virologist, has actually received a Nobel Prize for the discovery of this observation, of this connection that human papillomavirus infection is very much in connection with cervical cancer formation, among other cancer types as well. HPV is one of the most widespread and most commonly sexually transmitted infections worldwide, and we also know from in vitro studies that HPV can actually inhibit blastocyst formation, endometrial implantation, or it can in fact cause apoptosis in embryonic cells as well. From observational studies, however, we also know that preterm delivery and premature rupture of membranes and pregnancy loss and other adverse pregnancy outcomes as well are connected to HPV. But the results are conflicting. And therefore, we aimed to assess adverse pregnancy outcomes in women who are infected with human papillomavirus infection. Our clinical question was that, are adverse pregnancy outcomes more common among women who are infected with HPV? So the population is pregnant women, of course, the exposure is HPV infection. The control group are the not infected, and the outcome was all the adverse pregnancy outcomes in our scope. Our hypothesis is that HPV infection leads to an increase in adverse pregnancy outcomes. The clinical implication was, of this study would be to emphasize the importance of prevention. So we have conducted a systematic search on the 10th of November 2022 in 3 major databases with this following search key that has 2 domains. One domain is about HPV and the other one is all about the APOs, or the adverse pregnancy outcomes. We have this search has yielded 7,070 articles. After duplicate removal, we have received 5,086. After title and abstract selection and full text selection, 19 fully eligible texts were available to us for data extraction. Our outcome measure was odds ratio with a 95% of confidence intervals. So we have had cruise odds ratios as well and adjusted odds ratios as well. For all the outcomes in our scope, we have finished the analyses. The first forest plot I'm going to show you today is about the connection of preterm delivery and HPV infection. Our hypothesis was that HPV infection causes an elevation among the pregnant women in relation of preterm delivery. Our outcome measure, our effect measure is odds ratio in this case, and the effect size was 1.74. Which means a strong correlation between the 2 entities. This is a statistically insignificant, however clinically definitely relevant information. It is important to say that some of these studies have not used HPV diagnosis as a negative control, but used negative pap smear for a surrogate. Which can cause a great amount of bias. And therefore, we have carried out this other analysis in which all the negative patients were tested for HPV as well. The effect measure is always odds ratio as well here. And the effect size was 1.72, which is almost the same. So this means that this correlation is still strong, even with the negative control patients. So this other forest plot that I'm going to show you is about the low birth weight among HPV infected and non-infected population. And there is a correlation because the effect size is 1.25. However, this result is still statistically insignificant. The last forest plot that I'm going to show you is about the spontaneous abortion among HPV infected and not infected population, and the outcome size was 0.64, meaning that there is no visible correlation between HPV infection and spontaneous abortion. The strengths of this study were that it is quite comprehensive with a large sample size and the rigorous inclusion and exclusion criteria. However, there are some limitations to this study as well, because we have pulled a lot of different strains together in these analyses, and this is because the literature wasn't sufficient, and we had to do this. This caused a high heterogeneity as well, and the confounding factors were not well studied were not well defined in the studies either. The conclusion is that HPV is related very much to preterm delivery, and there is no association between premature rupture of membranes, preterm premature rupture of membranes, and spontaneous abortion. The implication for practice would be to test patients more frequently, definitely to test pregnant patients as well. Maybe it should be part of prenatal care as well. And the vaccination before family planning is also important very much, as it is not yet obligatory worldwide. The implication for research is that a vaccine for more strains is needed, and a treatment alternative is needed as well. And also studies on the effect of vaccination on pregnancy outcomes is very much in need. So the manuscript status currently is that we have sent it and submitted it to the Journal of International Molecular Sciences with an impact factor of 5.6, and currently it is under major revision, and we have sent our answer for the reviewers, and currently waiting for the second stage of the major revision. Let's have a closer look on the second topic, which is about investigating the association between lipid profiles and various pregnancy complications. This is going to be a systematic review and a meta-analysis as well. And we have known that total cholesterol, low-density lipoprotein, high-density lipoprotein, triglycerides, these levels are part of the prenatal care. And they usually change, but they usually do not result in therapeutic actions either. We also know that these changed levels are associated with preeclampsia, gestational diabetes, and other pathological entities too. And we need more evidence on what the normal lipid levels are during pregnancy. And therefore, we aim to understand the effect of lipid profiles, and if it is possible, we should set cutoff values as well. The question is that can total cholesterol, HDL, LDL, and triglyceride levels be associated with pregnancy complications? Therefore, the population is pregnant women, the exposure is dyslipidemia, and the outcomes are preeclampsia and gestational diabetes, among others. Our hypothesis is that maternal dyslipidemia characteristics are indicative of pregnancy complications. And of course, the clinical implication would be a great diagnostic tool in prenatal care. So we have conducted a systematic search on the 23rd of May with these two following domains. And currently we are at title and abstract selection. So this is an overview of my two topics, and thank you very much for listening. Thank you for your attention. I'd like to browse to you the message of Miyamoto Musashi. If you know the way broadly, you will see it in everything. Thank you.
I have a question about the second topic. Have you got any preliminary information about that the publications show only the pure levels of those lipids, or ratio between lipid levels, especially HDL and LDL?
Thank you for your question. This was not yet in our scope of our study.
Just because the lipid levels are higher during pregnancy, so compared to the normal population.
Usually HDL decreases.
HDL decreases, but the cholesterol and triglyceride higher, and that's why I think it's very hard to get a cutoff point for the pregnancy itself. So that's why I was very curious about this, but maybe later.
Yeah, thank you for your question.
Thank you for your presentation. I have a question regarding your first topic. Do these articles report on the type of HPV, low risk, high risk, and what do you think about that? Does it affect what you are investigating?
Thank you for your question. It's a great question. A lot of the articles report different strains of HPV. The problem is that there are so many types of HPVs that it is very hard to just rule out a few types of them. There were a few articles which reported only the high-risk ones, and we could pull those together in different analyses. I have forest plots about that I didn't bring it to you today. So these are great opportunities for subgroup analyses, yes. But in general, it is very hard to pull this data because the literature isn't sufficient. There are not a lot of articles, so it's hard to get enough data on that. Thank you.
So you said that you have a forest plot for the so-called high-risk group. So do you see differences between those and in general, altogether, the groups? Because this high risk, I mean, high risk maybe in some respects, may not be that high risk in other respects, so that would be really good to know, even if the evidence is not that strong, that one is actually the tendency.
Thank you for your question. So if I have this forest plot, I think that this is the main outcome of for some reason it's not changing. I think that this is the main outcome of our study. The one forest plot with preterm delivery and the control population tested, because this is, I would say that this is the standard. But even in these studies, the study types and the study populations are so diverse that it is very hard to pull the data. This is the reason why you see that that there is a slight change, or a slight curve among the forest plots. And this is the reason why I cannot compare this forest plot with the one that has high risk.
Except they do that within the study. So in one study that all HPV infected, and then a subgroup of that within the study is for the high risk group.
Yeah, yes. Thank you.